What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you on SoundHound. So right now it is selling off due to their Q4 earnings. I want to talk on if it's justified and if right now is a good time to buy or not. Before I get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So right now it is down 10.11%. It had a low of $5.63, so that'll make a little bit more sense once I go over the technicals, but a ton of volume. So big money is still very focused on SoundHound. 67.99 million shares being traded, 59.1 is the average. And so when it comes down to their earnings, personally, I actually don't see that big of a deal. I think just Wall Street had extremely high expectations for it, and they didn't really meet that. So in Q4, they did have 17.1 million in revenue. And so even that is an increase of 80% year over year. To be fully fair and play devil's advocate, they didn't really do all that much in 2022. So once again, it is what it is. But aside from that though, they did have 109 million in cash and cash equivalents as of December 31st, 2023. So that is one of those attributing factors why it is going down as much as it is, because that does insinuate they will probably need to dilute sooner rather than later. Market does not like that, so that's obviously one factor that's going down. Over and above that, their future guidance. So their future guidance, they did cite between 60 and 77 million for revenue in 2024. It's one of those things on a percentage basis because they did do 45.9 million in revenue in 2023. So even comparing 2022 to 2023, big increase. But once again, I think just Wall Street had very high expectations for this company and their future guidance, and maybe was anticipating another Nvidia kind of scenario. Maybe they were anticipating $1 billion of revenue. I have no idea. But after I reviewed this, it's not all that bad. Of course, take that with a grain of salt. There could be a lot of things that happen in 2024 that could turn this on its head. But right now, they hit all the key marks. And plus, they did state and kind of worded it in a way that Wall Street is going to look at this as a pure AI play, and which it kind of is in essence a little bit. But still, let me know your thoughts on these earnings. I know some people could easily tear this apart and say that there's a lot of negatives, but factoring in where it is on a price point, I don't know. I feel like there could be some room for upside. Plus, on a side note, a lot of people are saying that this is a squeeze play. And throughout this whole kind of spike up that they had, shorts have been increasing. Even right now, shorts are increasing 124.33 thousand shares, still on the threshold list. 16.88% of the free float is being shorted, and cost to borrow average is 31.79%. Utilization is 94.88%. And through Interactive Broker, short availability does indicate as of this morning there being 0 shares available to be shorted, so kind of aiding in that whole threshold list, naked shorting, and whatever else. So this could get very real very fast. So I think as well at the same time, that is what is alluring a lot of people to this stock, because people love squeeze plays. Very exciting and whatever else. Looking at options though. So right now there's about $13 million in calls being purchased and 3.93 million in puts. Sentiment wise, it is very much evenly divided between just people collecting premiums, bullishness, and bearishness. So it's kind of just stuck in limbo overall. A lot of people are trying to digest these earnings as well as larger macro concerns. PCE did come out yesterday, so that definitely is causing people to think about when the Feds might be cutting rates, whether it's still be later part of 2024 or if it's going to be sooner or whatever else. So that definitely is going to affect a lot of growth stocks, such as even SoundHound. And when it comes down to their call options, so of the call options that are being purchased, there is a consensus for it to be above $7 by the end of, it looks like even today, oddly enough. And looking over into next week, it is anticipated to be around $8. Of the puts though, there is a very large consensus for it to be sub $5.50. I feel like that is kind of far-fetched at this stage, but the closest one, there's around 14,000 in open interest at that $6 strike price. So we'll just have to wait and see what does come from today. You might have a last minute push down for it to go close below $6, but the technicals really did work in its favor. So I'm going to talk on that in a second. These are all the transactions that have occurred so far in the first about hour and a half of the trading day. So big money, very much getting into SoundHound today, similar to yesterday. So there was a pretty big one, so 10.9 million. Aside from that, there was a lot of transactions that did occur yesterday. So these are all of that. So yeah, I think big money is looking for the next big NVIDIA play essentially, and I think a lot of people are assuming that this is it. Right now with it at $6.75, it is trading between this pivot and this R1. So $5.65 is a very strong support, and coincidentally that is where it bounced off of today. So going into the next couple of days, at least you know that pivot point is diamond handing and very strong. Aside from that, 805 is going to be that next strong resistance level, and a lot of people are just doing options within that set range. This is why you did see the puts around the 550 and the call options by the end of next week around the $8 range. Looking on the actual technicals, this is where things get kind of weird, because technicals are very hard to do on momentum plays, because right now it is higher percentile of the boiling band above a lot of the key pivotal moving averages. Stochastic is considered overbought, but then again, typically momentum plays are like that. So we'll just have to wait and see. Number of retail investors have been getting out today, as you can kind of tell based on that. So maybe they're just collecting profits, because if you take a step back and realize it has gone from about $1.70 to where it is now, there's a large amount of people that is in pretty good profits, right? So there's going to be profit taking along the way, but with their earnings, I feel like it could definitely go up. We'll just have to wait and see whether the market is still going to be appreciating and valuing these growth stocks, because the fear and greed index right now is still relatively high under the extreme greed component. So it is at 76. But if there is a lot more fear that starts to be brought up and this starts to go down, you're going to see SoundHound, regardless of their guidance and everything that they did give, it'll get reduced because the multiple will get affected and everything. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Do you think it is a time to buy right now or not? I personally feel if you're looking at swing trading this, definitely stay close to this pivot point right here of $5.65. If this is to break, then unfortunately I feel like it might be down and out, because that is where it would be around the $3 range would be the next strong support after that. But right now SoundHound's just going to be stuck in limbo, dependent on a lot of the larger concerns that's happening in the broader market. I'm actually pretty happy about their earnings, pretty good growth overall, just their cash. I do agree with the market that it will need to dilute sooner rather than later, and the market just absolutely hates any company that is going to be diluting. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Have you been buying, or what have you been doing? One final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. So simply sign up for an account with Moomoo, through $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.